Okay, so today in class I'm going to show you how to do some more things with functions. So we've got these 5 functions here, and we're going to start out just by reviewing, okay? Let's say I tell you to find f of 3. Okay, now we did that a while ago. F of 3 means you're going to plug 3 in for x into the f function. So that's going to be 2 parentheses 3 squared minus 7. And then you've got to remember to do the squared thing first. So 3 squared is 9, because it's 3 times 3. So 9 times 2 is 18, and 18 minus 7 is 11. So we say f of 3 equals 11. If you plug in a negative number, like let's say g of x, no, not g of x. Let's say we do g of negative 2. Then I'm going to take the g function, which is 3x squared plus 5x minus 1, and I'm going to replace the x with the negative 2. So I have 3 times negative 2 squared plus 5 times negative 2 minus 1. Now I've seen some people, when we did this last time, I saw some people write like a 5x and then a negative 2. You're replacing the x with the number that is in the parentheses. Okay, you won't have an x and that number in the equation. You're replacing the x with that number. So now you've got some negatives to deal with. Negative 2 squared means negative 2 times negative 2, so it's a positive 4. So you've got 3 times 4. 5 times negative 2 is a negative 10. So you could write minus 10 or you could write plus a negative 10. And then you've got minus 1. So 3 times 4 is 12. And so you've got, and you could change this minus 1 to plus a negative 1, if that helps you. Then 12 plus negative 10 is 2, and 2 plus negative 1 is 1. Or you can think of it as 12 minus 10 is 2, 2 minus 1 is 1. Okay, so that's kind of review. I know that's been a while since we've done that, but that is review, plugging a number in. So today we're going to do things like f of x plus g of x, okay? So f of x, this is going to give us a new formula. If you're told to find f of a number, like f of 3, or g of a number, like g of negative 2, your answer is going to be a number. But if your problem that you're supposed to find has x's in it, your answer is going to have x's in it. So we're going to find a new function here. So f of x is 2x squared minus 7. I just copy down what f of x is. Plus g of x, and g of x is 3x squared plus 5x minus 1. So f of x plus g of x is this. Now I'm going to combine like terms. So I'm going to take my 2x squared with my 3x squared and make that 5x squared. Okay. We've combined like terms with x's and numbers. We haven't worked with x squared much, but you do it just the same way. If we had a 5x plus a 7x, you'd add those numbers together. Same with the x squared. So 2x squared plus 3x squared is 5x squared. Then the next thing is a 5x, and I don't have any x's to add to that. And then I have a negative 7 and a negative 1, so that's a negative 8. So this is my new formula. Sort of like if f of x was the formula for how you got paid for one summer job, and g of x is the formula on how you got paid for a different summer job. If you added them together, that'd be your formula for all of your work together. Okay. If we have to minus, okay, let's say we have h of x minus, say, capital F of x. You have to remember that this minus goes with the whole thing. So h of x is negative 5x squared plus 3. And if you want to put that in parentheses, you can. Then minus, and then capital F of x is 6x plus 2. And I would definitely put that in parentheses. Anytime you're subtracting a function, I would put it in parentheses. Otherwise, you're going to forget that you need to subtract that too. Okay? You have to minus the whole function. So this is not going to change any. Negative 5x squared plus 3. And then this is going to change to negative 6x or minus 6x and minus 2. Okay, we have to subtract both. So we're distributing. It's like there's a -1 there, and you're distributing through that parentheses. Now we're going to combine like terms. 5x squared is my only x squared term, and I normally put first my highest exponent. That's called standard form. I won't count it wrong on your assignments right now if you put it in the wrong order, but just get in the habit of putting your x squared first. Then your next term is -6x, and then 3 minus 2 is a +1. So that is your new answer. Okay, so we'll be making new formulas today. Later on in algebra, we'll multiply things together. We'll take f of x times g of x, but right now we're just going to add and subtract. Now we're going to do something called composition of functions, but we're only going to do that with numbers. So for instance, let's say I want to find f of g of 3, okay? F of g of 3 is written like that. So the g of 3 is on the inside of the f of x function, okay? Now I've got to flip my paper back and forth because my functions are on the other side. So first I'm going to find g of 3. So g of 3 is equal to 3x squared, so 3 times 3 squared plus 5x minus 1 plus 5 times 3 minus 1. So first you find g of 3. So that's going to be 9 times 3, which is 27, plus 15 minus 1. So 15 minus 1 is 14. 14 plus 27 is 41. So g of 3 is 41. Now that is what goes in here. We're trying to find f of g of 3. G of 3 we just found is 41, so we're going to change that to 41. So now we're going to find f of 41, and I hope there's not a squared. If there is, I'm going to get my calculator, okay? So f of x is 2x squared minus 7. There is 2x squared minus 7. So you replace the x with the number that you found when you did g of 3. Then you're going to take your calculator, unless you want to do 41 squared by yourself or by hand. So you do 41 times 41, and you get 1,681. So 2 times 1,681 minus 7. Then you're going to take 1681 times 2, and you get 3,362. And then we're going to subtract 7, and my answer is 3,355. Okay? So let's do another one. Let's do f, capital F, of capital H of 10. Okay? So you guys go ahead. I'm going to pause the video while you guys try to do that one.